Good afternoon, students. Welcome to the new session, class 12, and this is political science. In political science, we have two textbooks. One is contemporary politics, and the other one is the Indian politics. So today we will start with the Indian politics, that is chapter 1, that is challenges of nation building. I repeat, challenges of nation building. India got independent in 15 August 1947. And on the midnight, the first Prime Minister of Free India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, addressed the people at the Red Fort, and his speech became to be known as Tries with Destiny. Now, in the first few years in the life of independent India were full of challenges. Some of the most pressing ones concerned national unity and territorial integrity of India. We begin the story of politics in India since independence by looking at how three of these challenges of nation building were successfully negotiated in the first decade after 1947. As freedom came with partition, which resulted a large scale of violence and displacement and challenged the very idea of a secular India. The second is the integration of the princely states into Indian Union needed urgent resolution. The internal boundaries of the country needed to be redrawn afresh to meet the aspirations of the people who spoke different languages. Everyone agreed upon to set up a democratic form of government and to run the government for the good of all, especially for the poor and disadvantaged group. Set up a democratic form of government was not an easy, or it's not going to be easy, as India was born with very difficult situations and circumstances. Perhaps no other country by then was born in a situation more difficult than that of India in 1947, because freedom came with the partition of the country, that is Pakistan and India. Thus, it was a year with a lot of difficulties. The year 1947 was a year of unprecedented violence and trauma of displacement. It was in this situation that India independence started on its journey to achieve several objectives. With the event of getting freedom, India was in assurance to face different kinds of challenges, from people to religion, from partition to discrimination, etc. But the major challenges are far wider and important, which are being discussed now. So the three important major challenges we're going to discuss in this chapter is: the first one is to unite the people, second is to establish democracy, third one is to ensure that the development and well-being of the people. When India got independent, the first challenge was to maintain unity of the country, because India was a country where people speak different languages, had different culture and religion, and it was not easy for India to maintain unity of the nation with such a vast diversity. And at the same time, it was widely believed that a country with full such kind of diversity could not remain together for long, and the partition of the country appeared to prove everyone worse fear. There were serious questions about the future of India, whether India would be survive as a unified country, whether will India be emphasized on national unity at the cost of every other objective, and how India is going to convince the princely states to join the nation as a democratic country, and also how was the integration of the territory of India to be achieved. Second challenge before India was to establish democracy. For this purpose, India adopted a representative democracy based on the parliamentary form of the government. These features ensure that there will be political competition within the political framework. Democracy requires democratic constitutions. So in India, constitution was framed and citizens were given the right to vote and fundamental rights. But the challenge was to ensure the functioning of the country in accordance with the constitutions. Challenge before India was to ensure such development wherein the country or the entire society could be benefited and not just some regions. To ensure these provisions, To ensure this, provisions were made in the Constitution for right to equality, and special rights were granted to the backward classes and cultural and religious minorities. The constitutions provided for the directive principle of state policy to achieve the goal of public welfare, which must be fulfilled by political establishment. Now, the real challenge was to evolve effective policy for economic development and eradication of poverty. So to conclude the class, let us quickly ponder upon the following questions. Who gave the famous speech Tries with Destiny? Second, what were the two goals that everyone agreed upon to work on after independence? 3. Explain the three major challenges faced by India after independence. Thank you.